And thanks for the question.
Some elected Democrats are so steamed about Doge. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver says we are at war. Ilhan Omar says we might actually see somebody get killed. And Chris Van Hollen says we have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets.
It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders. And frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. And for Democrat officials to incite violence and encourage Americans to take to the streets is incredibly alarming, and they should be held accountable for that rhetoric.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the HillLine News. Today, I'm taking you right into the heart of the latest political storm because the Democrats are absolutely losing it over, get this, Doge engineers. Yes, that's the crisis of the week. And Trump's press secretary? She stepped up to the podium and absolutely obliterated their argument with straight facts. So let's set the stage. Democrat lawmakers like Ilhan Omar, LaMonica McIver, and Chris Van Hollen are all over the headlines, but not because they're offering solutions. Nope. Instead, they're warning about Doge saying things like, we're at war, and someone might get killed. Seriously? Over Doge engineers? Look, this is more than just hyperbole. This kind of talk is reckless, plain and simple. It's not about debating policy. It's about inflaming tensions and scaring the public. And here's the kicker.
Peter.
Thank you, Caroline. Are any officials here preparing to fight Democratic lawmakers in the streets?
Absolutely not.
And
thanks for the question.
Some elected Democrats are so steamed about Doge. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver says we are at war. Ilhan Omar says we might actually see somebody get killed. And Chris Van Hollen says we have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets. So what now?
And may I just point out, if you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts of this federal government and ensure it's accountable to American taxpayers. That's all that is happening here. And for Democrat officials to incite violence and encourage Americans to take to the streets is incredibly alarming, and they should be held accountable for that rhetoric.
Painting themselves as the victims, all while turning up the heat on national discourse. Now, Trump's press secretary, she didn't mince words. She called out the hypocrisy, the scare tactics, and the double standards. Imagine if a Republican said this stuff. The media would be in full meltdown mode. But because it's Democrats, it's radio silence. This isn't leadership. This is just political theater with the media giving them yet another free pass. So what's this Doge threat really about? According to Democrats, Doge engineers now have access to Treasury systems. Sounds terrifying, right? But here's the reality. It's read-only access. They can't change a thing. They can't write code. This is pure distraction, designed to keep your eyes off real issues like inflation, the border, and a shaky economy. That's the game. Create panic, claim victimhood, demand more control. Let's shift gears for a second. Immigration facts. Since Trump took office, over 8,000 illegal immigrants have been arrested.
It sounds like something that they're most concerned about is Doge engineers with access to Treasury systems. Can you clarify? Do the Doge engineers have read-only access in these systems, so they are not allowed to write new code?
No.
They are not. Okay.
No.
And then one more thing. NBC is reporting that some of the illegal immigrants that we've seen rounded up and arrested are not being deported. They're being released with ankle or wrist monitoring devices, or they have to check in on the phone. So is the administration arresting more people than you have room for?
I have seen the reports, and I'm glad you brought it up because we want to address it. There have been a total of 461 illegal aliens. This is of this morning when I got this information from DHS that have been released from custody of the more than 8,000 that have been arrested since President Trump was inaugurated. It's less than 6%, and there are reasons for their release. Some of the factors include a lack of significant likelihood of removal in the foreseeable future, lack of detention availability, which is something this president and this administration has been incredibly vocal about. We are doing everything we can to deport and detain illegal immigrants, but we need Congress's help to increase funding for Border Patrol and for ICE to increase detention capability in our facilities. And then other serious medical conditions have also been the reasons for some of the release of these individuals. But none of them have final deportation orders. Many of them are probably contesting their immigration status. I'd refer you to DHS for more details, but I did get that information because I knew it'd be a question, so thank you.
Of those, only 461 were released. That's less than 6%. And most of those releases, medical emergencies, or simply nowhere to detain them. But is that the headline? Nope. The media would rather hyperventilate about Elon Musk helping make government more efficient. And speaking of efficiency, Elon and Trump are actually teaming up to cut waste, boost accountability, and shine a light on government bloat. That's what's really got the left panicked. If you're tired of the noise, if you want more breakdowns that cut through the spin hit, subscribe and turn on those notifications. I'm not letting up, and neither should you. Bottom line, Democrats are ramping up the rhetoric the media is covering for them, and the American people deserve better. Trump's team is focused on real issues, exposing waste, and trying to get this country back on track. Drop a comment. Do you think the media would react the same way if Republicans said what Omar and Van Hollen did? Thanks for watching, share this video, and stay sharp. I'll see you next time on the HillLine News.